Hello and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Great Debate. Today we have Tailed Feature.
Hello there.
Alright, let's start off real quick by getting this board launched. Welcome to the Great Debate. Tailed, how are you?
I'm not too bad, man. How's yourself?
I'm not doing too bad. I've been sitting in front of my computer for quite a bit of the morning, as a couple people in my chat know. I've been just drifting from stream to stream, being towed along by
Hope you
the
didn't cross
failure.
them.
Actually, I guess we were simulcasting. I was on COG stream and the Kumite at the same time. Very, very interesting. My first time on the Kumite.
Did it go all right, did it?
It did. It was fun. I'm a man now.
Something like that. I think I'm one of the only people who hasn't been on yet.
Yeah. Who, you?
Yeah, I've never been on.
Today was my first day. I also joined COG on his stream, which is what, led into the Kumite. And I kind of hung out with Failure for a little while, just kind of, giving my little bit of input where I can, which is what I always like to hear. That is going to quickly become a meme. I'm a man now. It was just...
Well, it sounds like you've had a productive day.
I've had an absolutely productive day. I was quiet here and there for bits. That's because I realized my mouse was clicking for everybody to hear, and I was trying to get the show set up for today. So I think I have everything. No, it looks like I'm missing a window or two. So I screwed something up somewhere, or I don't care. We'll just keep going.
Okay.
So, on your end, you should be able to see a funny blue board with the title and a bunch of shit just listed on it.
Yes, I can see that.
Alright, that's the game board. Behind every single one of these topics, there's a statement or a question. Something to start a conversation out on that item. There is a 5-minute timer. However, if I did what I do right, the timer is still there, but until I find a friendlier audio that I like, I took out the sound. So there's no sound. That's interesting. Thank you, Zell, for that in the chat. I appreciate the want for blood, not so much the desired type. So with that, let's go ahead and get a topic selected and get rolling this board.
Sure. Let's go for toys. I'm curious.
Toys being something you play with in your free time. Are video games toys?
Well, that's an interesting one. I have to confess I don't actually play video games at all. Never really been that interested in them, but I would say probably not, because with sort of toys, kind of physical toys, I guess you're kind of making your own reality. When you're a kid anyway, obviously you're sort of imagining loads of stuff, whereas a video game, it's kind of set out in front of you. As imaginative as video games could be, I wouldn't say they were the same thing, because you can play with other things in your free time that maybe aren't necessarily toys as well. So that's, I guess that's kind of what I would say is no to that.
I have kids. So
right.
When I was a kid, maybe wasn't necessarily a toy. It was something to do on the TV. It was, in my mind, equal to watching television. So if I'm allowed to watch TV, why am I not allowed to play video games? Growing
Yeah,
up a
that
bit
makes
and
sense.
becoming a parent, you flip that philosophy. Video games are entertainment. Television is entertainment. Toys are entertainment. But toys and video games are a you pick entertainment. You can sit and watch TV. I'll pick that. But video games become a toy when you're the parent looking at children.
All right, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any kids, so that's not something I've really thought about. But I always, yeah, you always got the choice. It's like, well, you could, play with a toy, or you could play video games. You never said, it was never go and play with your toys, and you went, okay, I'll go and play video games.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me shut my furnace off so it doesn't get annoying.
Furnace. That sounds awfully metal.
It's one of those things that's just far enough away where I have to pop my headset off to turn the thermostat down. But there's a rattle in one of the pipes and it just squeals through my microphone.
Well, I didn't even notice.
No, because I just heard it start to kick on. It hadn't started blowing hot air through yet. Things to do this summer. Jobs when the weather gets nice.
Yes.
I spelled something wrong. I thought I corrected that. I hope all my questions I put in there were saved.
Well, I wasn't going to pick up on that, but
I remember doing a spell check today and going through and correcting spelling. I thought I corrected this word, which means I don't know if all the questions I put in were saved. Oops. We'll see.
Right.
I tend to think of video games as a toy of sorts. I guess they kind of have their own category to me, but looking at my kids, they're kind of a toy.
Do you think it depends on the kind of video game as well?
Oh, definitely. When I had a Wii in the house, I was way more apt to let my kids play like Wii Sports or Wii Bowling or something like that than I was to let them play Call of Duty.
Yeah. And the kind of shit that you play, like that people play on their smartphones, like Candy Crush and all that kind of stuff, I would say they're kind of more akin to a toy than something that actually requires a bit more thought. But I don't know. Again, it's not really something that I do personally.
Now you're in Scotland, right?
I am in Scotland, yes.
Okay, so when I was a kid, kind of pre and as video games were coming out, we had these little plastic video games with like racing and Yahtzee and all sorts of little wrestling games and whatnot.
Were they by Tiger by any chance?
Some of them probably were, but they were these little plastic handheld devices with this little 1.5 by 2 inch screen with little black, monochrome pictures on there.
Yeah.
You guys had those too, I'm assuming.
Yep, we did.
Okay, I just had to finally throw my last of a dozen of them I probably had away because the screen just stopped putting color out after, almost 30 years. Seriously. We still have my wife's old Yahtzee game here somewhere that's about 20-something years old. Those were toys. When we had those were toys that were given to us. Yes, they were some of them were actually games, like the Yahtzee one, but they were still toys. So we always treated them as if they were our toys, something to play with, and in some cases they ended up in the toy box. So that might be why my ideal of a video game is still that it's a toy.
That's fair enough. I think video games have changed so much since then, that they could be classed or considered their own type of entertainment separate from a toy.
Yeah, they could be, but at the same time, depending on your perspective, again, what this show's about, a video game is also a toy for a parent looking at what they want their children to do.
Yeah.
for that
No,
matter,
I get
a
that.
tablet or anything else. Hello, Viper. How are you? I can tell the new people because they don't have wrenches, because I'm still handing them out for a while longer. I guess this brings up the question, is something like Dungeons and Dragons a toy? So is a game a toy? Yeah, in my mind, playing a game is like playing with a toy. If my kids ask me to play a game, I give it the same weight as if they ask me to go play with Legos or to help with a puzzle. It's a toy. In the terms of adult work versus playtime. I play video games, I consider that me playing. When I'm on YouTube, I consider that me playing with my computer because I don't. It's not a job, though I work more than 40 hours a week at my computer, most weeks actually. And, you know, it's. It's the category, like things have to have a certain weight to everybody. And leisure, to me, is toys. If I buy tools that I don't necessarily need, but would be nice to have to do something, that's a toy.
Okay.
Okay.
You're really broadening this out.
Yeah, but that's just how I see things, and that's why inviting in different people to offer their views is important. I understand that not everybody's gonna see a video game as a toy, but at the same time, I can still hold it in that category because I consider a third 4 1/4 inch circular saw, because it's battery operated, is a toy. You know what
So
I mean?
what about someone who buys a sports car?
That's a toy.
Like,
I have one.
that's a toy.
I have an old
Okay,
toy.
so
It's my toy.
but is there a normal kind of car isn't
Isn't a toy.
isn't a toy, even if you go and drive it for fun sometimes, just for a drive.
Yeah. All right. So
Right, because that's not its primary purpose.
right. We
Okay.
used to have an old Lincoln. The Lincoln was parked in the garage. It was very well kept. The Lincoln had a 5.0. It was a 2-door sedan, fully loaded, really nice car. Awesome car. In my driveway, I have a 95. The Lincoln was a 92, by the way. In my other driveway, I have a 95 Ford Mustang GT with a 5.0 2-door coupe GT, 5-speed on the floor. That is a toy. The Lincoln was a car. I wouldn't punch the Lincoln and go shifting through gears as fast and as hard as I could, even though I accidentally had it doing 90 on the highway because it's an automatic.
Okay.
We have talked about adult toys in the past. It probably will end up on the board in the future as I cycle through. Pardon me.
No, I was just gonna. I thought, well, it's first round and everything like that. I'm not gonna.
Oh, dude.
I'm not gonna go.
This is the 46th show, so I've got plenty of material, and if I start to run a little curious, I start doing searches and reading articles. Also, I was talking to my neighbor, and he gave me a book from Sigmund Freud that I'm about to start reading. I hopefully have a well worth of topics, and I do try to make some of them funny.
Good. I'll try my hardest to be funny.
Oh, it's no worry. Mostly this is just as I get tongue-tied as usual. Mostly this is just about talking out some of these topics. Some of them are benign, friendly, and funny. Some of them are everyday life, things that you encounter, things that people put in movies or shows, or topics or books or articles, cartoons, magazines, comics. And then other ones are things that you see in the news, things that people argue over, hot topic debates, things that are in courtrooms right now, things that are in the White House right now, things that are in Congress, ideas, thoughts, whatever I come up with on whatever the topic is. And then it's up to you to pick which one of the squares I click on and start the conversation.
Yeah, sure.
Kickstart.
I guess, yeah, I guess part of the thing is that my only sort of concern is that it's going to be quite heavily American centric, and I'm like, I have no idea what that is. Or
that's okay.
But
I'm trying to. I realized a little over a week ago that my show was very American centric, and I hopped into Bear's stream and started chatting with him about a few things, and I started searching articles that would be multinational items, something that every country has a view on for certain topics, or
sure,
generalize it enough so that your view from your country isn't precluded because it's not relating to U.S. However, with that said, I am in the U.S. and some of these questions are related to the United States, so...
Yeah. No, I mean, that's fair enough.
But...
So, shall we move on?
Have at that board.
Okay. Well, I've got a background in education, so let's go for schools, although, again, it might be American.
Schooling has become a pillar of our civilization. How has who a person is or how they appear affecting education?
How has who a person is or how they appear? I guess what schools have been trying to do, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same in the States as it is over here. You know, it's like over here, for example, they tell everybody they ingrain it into kids, like what their individual rights are. And basically, whenever a teacher will call some bullshit out that some kids do, and they'll say, well, that's against my rights. You know, so in that sense, that is the only time where being an individual is kind of forced upon them. But yeah, they also, obviously over here, we're pretty bad with the whole social justice stuff in schools. And they do kind of say, oh no, it's about expressing yourself and that kind of thing, but within certain parameters, of course. So it's a bit contradictory and a bit kind of bullshit. But I'm just trying to think of a specific kind of thing.
I can think of a specific. What's the word for it? Only affects me. It's a story from my behalf. What's the term for that? Somebody in the chat will remember. When you're doing a debate and you toss in something that is from your perspective. This is
anecdotal.
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 Yeah. This is entirely anecdotal, but I went into my son's school for a meeting, and across the hall from the room where the meeting was, right where all the offices in his school are, there's a sign on the board that says, you teach a man, you teach a man, you teach a woman, you teach a generation. And I'm sitting in a chair in the hallway staring at all these, lift people up, inspire people posters, and this one just stands out. It's burning in the back of my head. I'm reading it over and over and over, and it's making me angry. But not angry because I don't like what it says. Angry because it doesn't sound right. Like, it's one of those things that I think I've heard this before and that doesn't sound right. So I pull out my phone right in the middle of the school and I search it down. And it came from a speech given in an African country on why to begin to educate women in society, because the women will help educate the children because they're the mothers. And the saying went, if you educate a man, you educate a person. When you educate a woman, you educate a family. And that sounded a whole lot more comfortable. Don't exactly quote me, but if you guys look it up, you'll be able to find it. It kind of bothered me that the quote was misrepresented. The misrepresentation was easily findable on the internet. Blogs, forums, posts, articles saying that rewording was incorrect. Yet, it was hanging on the hallway right next to the guidance office.
So they need to educate themselves, basically.
I told the counselor we had the meeting with, I was like, listen, just to let you know, it didn't sit well with me and I was looking it up. That phrase you have in the hallway isn't correct. You guys need to check into it, maybe do a little research and get some education. And this is at a school. This is at a school where I'm arguing with counselors and educational professionals on how to educate. And they have shit in their hallways. That's wrong.
Yeah, well, if they're misquoting people, then, you know, especially if it's to suit an agenda.
If we are experiencing lag, I am so sorry, guys. I don't believe it's me. I think it's YouTube, because every stream I've been on today on my devices has been lagging out for all sorts of different reasons. Tonka
can't even blame Scottish internet this time.
No. Don't take this the wrong way, chat. I can't be bothered to fix it because I have fixed everything on my computer to the topmost efficiency I can get out of it. This is entirely Google lagging us out. There's probably just too many streams.
Too many streams.
I think that's honestly what it is. You have too many streams with people like me pushing a lot of power behind what we're streaming.
I know we've got 5 people watching. I mean, that's killing YouTube. Can't handle it.
My streams aren't large. I sometimes get 10 or 12 in here. It's fun like this. I'll enjoy it while it's small. Well, I do hope eventually I hope I grow. But I like. Of course,
yeah. That wasn't a criticism, by the way.
No, I got to get people in here to talk with, and my chat knows, Tailed, you're a much bigger creator than even I am. But I've had people in here who aren't even creators. That's most of my guests. I even talk with the chat a lot. So that's how you build and grow. You don't focus on any one thing. You diversify. I invite everybody, but I admit it myself, I would like to see names on here, and I know if I want to see it, that's what my audience wants to see. So I throw random invites out all the time.
Sure, yeah. No, I was happy when I got invited. I don't get invited to that many that many streams these days.
Oh, I'll keep you in mind. Everybody says they'd like to come back, so let's move to another question here, or topic.
Sure. I'm interested in what platforms is about.
Many people have discussed how hard it would be to completely leave the larger sites like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter without being banned, which is happening more. Thoughts?
Well, yeah, if you want any kind of reach, unless you're somebody, you know, like Sargon or something like that, but even I think if he decided, you know what, I'm not going to upload things to YouTube anymore, you know, even though he's got 700,000 odd subscribers, that's kind of a drop in the ocean for YouTube. And also that would kind of mean that Google won, because that's, I don't know, you know, you can argue all you want about if they're trying to push people off the platform. But the point is, if you know you're not going to like, well, I'm going to show them a lesson by leaving, and you know, because people would still use YouTube, life would kind of carry on as normal for everybody else. So yeah, I mean, leaving it is kind of pointless, because they do have what is tantamount to a monopoly on this kind of this kind of platform, the video platform. rightly or rightly or wrongly. So yeah, I think leaving it. Yeah, because there's no viable alternative to YouTube, unfortunately. As much as I wish there would be, but there doesn't seem to be any with any kind of staying power, or anywhere near as much reach.
Not yet.
And not yet. No.
Nothing has streamlined what YouTube can do better than they do it, with the capacity to store what they can store better than they can store it, with the ability to access what they can access better than YouTube can access it. So you have to defeat the ability of the company, and right now YouTube has a hell of a large amount of ability for a company that's failing and being supported by its parent companies. One thing to think about here is some people are beginning to go in a way, how to best word this. Back in 2000s, maybe the mid 2000s, you started to see a lot of companies pop up. And for a long time, a lot of companies would post their website on everything. It would be the first thing up on the commercial. It would be the last thing at the end of the commercial. It would be what they pushed because the web was new, it was fresh, and they wanted that website. Things like MySpace and then Facebook or things like that began to build up after things like AOL, the dial-in servers, AOL and Net 10, Net 0. There was a few other ones you could get that were dial-in servers. You pay a monthly fee, you dial into the internet, you go to websites, and they had what was called short words or something like that. You could type in a specific keyword into AOL and it would take you right to that website instead of typing in the URL. I think we're kind of headed back into that generation as Facebook begins to monitor and capture all of people's activities and movements. And YouTube begins to go, no, we want to lean more towards the stuff we can integrate into our television networks we're building. When I think what they're trying to do is layer out different packages and get people to group into those and then have the advertisers pay for being advertised on that package. And then users will be paid for being large enough to be in those packages. What was I saying? Twitter, Facebook. I think we're going to go back to websites being the internet again. People are going to be going to the www.whatever.
That's interesting you say that, because I remember speaking to somebody and they said that, you know, there was some community organization or something, and they said, yeah, I look after the website. And I was like, oh, really? You've got a website? What is it? And they just said facebook.com/yada, yada, yada. You know, so websites are kind of synonymous with Facebook pages now.
Okay.
And also people say things like, I'm going to Google that on Facebook, or I'm going to Google that on YouTube. You know, Google's become synonymous with search as well.
Yeah. I don't know how, but I really do see that. Who knows what that little spark is going to be that ignites the tinder between the creators and the company that gets people to say, okay, well, YouTube, we're done. We're going to take our content and we're just going to post it here, and here, and say, oh, well, with YouTube. And then all of a sudden, it just slowly crumbles and then goes the way of MySpace, bought by Amazon, turned into this and that and the other thing. I don't know what it's going to be, but give it a few more years. If they don't fix some of the things they're doing to separate the networks they have, then it's either going to crumble or it's not going to be the same company.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is stuff like Facebook. I mean, again, this is just anecdotal, but more people that I speak to now, even sort of younger people, sort of in their teens and stuff, they just go, oh yeah, I don't have a Facebook page. Or people sort of my age, just go, yeah, I just stopped using it because Facebook's boring, and
I
you know,
not
there's
only
other things to use.
I not only stopped using my Facebook page, I went through and removed as much information, pictures, and writing. They won't even let you remove everything out of your profiles.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fucking scary. But yeah, I mean, I hope you're right. I hope you know Facebook and YouTube and other sites that are that big that have huge monopolies on that kind of thing. Hopefully, they begin to lose that monopoly over time.
I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know exactly what it was. I think it was merely a better idea that worked smoother on Facebook that killed MySpace. And it's not that everybody left MySpace, it's that everybody who was there didn't use it as much. The traffic went down and everybody started using Facebook. Even if you had a MySpace account, it was just that Facebook was smoother, it was more streamlined, there was more integrations, and MySpace at the time just couldn't keep up. They did try for a few things, they kept adding in what they could, but they couldn't keep up with how fast Facebook was building because of how fast they were growing.
Well, the other thing, yeah, just like Dark Suki said in the chat, I think it was the games on Facebook that helped kill MySpace. That's partly it. The other thing is the Facebook started off as a tool for college students to keep in touch with each other. You had to have some sort of .ac or some educational connection because it was for alumni and whatnot before it became public for everybody. So yeah, and it was a lot easier to use, like you say. Facebook was always MySpace was always a little bit kind of, well, shit, to be honest. It was it was very clunky.
Yeah,
But I
it
mean,
was a
you
way
know,
to talk to
something.
people. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, something had to come out on top. I mean, there was lots of different platforms at the time. You know, social media before it was called social media. You had your MySpace, you had Bebo, Face Party, Facebook, and I had accounts on all these kinds of things.
Oh, me too.
Um,
It was
yeah,
just the
and
web. That's all it was back then. It was just the web. I'm
yeah,
getting on the internet later. I'll see you there.
yeah, basically, yeah. It was like, well, and especially if you're on dial-up internet, no one could phone you unless you had two phone lines.
Or call waiting, and
Stuff
then
like
you'd get knocked off at AOL, and that call waiting ding went through.
oh wow, I didn't have that. I never had AOL, even though I mean you could get AOL here, but I never used it. There was ICQ as well. Did you have that? Do you remember that?
No, I'm not familiar with that
That
one.
that was it was kind of it was a little program. Uh, it was a little chat program, and everybody just had kind of like their own number, and you could just suddenly I think you could just type in numbers, and you would just get somebody on the other end and would just chat to them. And I had Yahoo Messenger as well. I had
Yeah,
all these different
Yahoo
types of things.
Messenger, MSN Messenger, AOL Instant Messenger.
Yep.
Those were the three main
Yep.
chat modes.
Yep.
That's how
I used
Yahoo got
IRC chat
everybody.
sometimes as well.
I'm familiar. There was like Nero and Net10 and Net0, AOL. There was one other big one I can't think of the name of. And then Netscape came out. And then that was
Oh
almost
yeah.
the end of dial up right there when Netscape came out. Oh,
Yeah, Netscape. Yeah, I remember that actually.
yeah. And then that turned into a website, and there used to be a whole bunch of. I remember in school them teaching us all these new search engines that were coming up.
Alta Vista.
Alta Vista was one of the good school search engines. There
Yeah.
was. I'm trying to think of the other one that.
I used one that was called Lycos. I don't know if that was around in the States. I think that was a UK one.
Yahoo was sort of big. I think
Yeah.
Google was kind of like fighting Yahoo for a while, but I want to say there was another one just before Yahoo. Ask Jeeves. That one
Ask Jeeves.
was big for a while. But these are the things that once you find a better way to do it, the old way's gone.
Yep, that's it.
So, with the old question gone, let's find a better way to do it and go after the next topic.
Sure. Let's look at creator tips. Let's do that one.
Be willing to be a fool and take the insults before the compliments without letting either affect your drive to continue.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the best kind of way to disarm people that, you know, if they've got sincere criticism, then fair enough. And if they're sort of making funny at the same time, insulting you and stuff, that's okay as well. But you know, if people are just, you know, trolling you and stuff like that, just own it. Just laugh, because it totally disarms them. But yeah, you know, usually when people insult you, they're either doing it just to be a dick, or they've actually got a genuine kind of grievance with you. So I think you have to listen to the insults and the compliments. And I'm always I'm going to regret saying this, but I'm always a bit annoyed when most of the comments on my channel are just like, "Yeah, man, that was funny," or "Yeah, I like that," or "Yeah, I agree with you." And I'm like, "Come on, I want someone to fucking disagree with me. I want to get in an argument with somebody." But then I've kind of cultivated a bit of a hive mind, I suppose, a little bit of an echo chamber on my channel. But then every now and then someone will disagree, and they're just like, "Yeah, well, you're just a fucking Scottish arsehole or whatever," you know. I'm like, "Come on, man, that's not an argument. You're just insulting me for
now
no
you're
reason."
just ad hom. You know, what are you doing? Are you ad homing, or are you actually giving me good criticism, or are you just insulting me? You know.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do?
That's why I did a response video to Miss Misa. I thought I'll get some, you know, I'll get some of her fans coming across and arguing with me, but they just went, "Oh yeah, I can see what you mean." It's like, fuck's sake.
One thing I
don't.
noticed...
Sorry, someone in chat said that I want blood sports. I don't really want blood sports. Can't be asked for that shit.
It all depends on how it goes. To be honest, when you see your viewership go up and down, when you see people come and go from your servers or your following, you sit there and go, okay, a little bit of this is, you know, YouTube and Twitter fucking with people's profiles, but a little of this is somebody doesn't like what I have or what I have to say. So let me look at what I'm doing. Do I feel what I'm doing is the best that I can do for my channel? And if the answer is yes, okay, somebody doesn't like what I have to say. I have to deal with that. It'll happen worse later. And I just keep telling myself that when the little tiny things happen, or somebody tries to go, you know, that's crap, or your idea is wrong. I do get a little bit of it, but I think to myself, it's gonna get worse if I grow. So read it as a criticism if it sounds like one, and then just keep working with it. And then people offer their, hey, you know, this would be cool, this would be cool. Okay, well, let me try that, see how I like it. If I don't like it, I'm not doing it. People will understand that. But you have to be willing to understand. And I think this is something I see with the blood sports. This is part of why the blood sports becomes a problem to some people. And I also know that they can't address this because I believe they're still live. Yeah, they're still live. So, think about it this way. If you get emotionally hurt over this, or somebody offers you criticism and you're listening or to them laughing at what you said or did, think about what it is you said or did. Think about that. I am a man! Okay, we knew that already. You stated that out of nowhere. We appreciate it. And that's where the blood sports comes in. Is now he's going to get upset because he was laughed at for a comment that he made. And then he's going to try and, get flustered and argue and throw things in there out of context and be hit for that because everybody's listening to what he's saying now. And then he gets more offended and it goes back and forth and it gets a hotter argument and then a hotter argument, and that's what blood sports is people get upset. And it's funny to watch people get upset over something they shouldn't be upset over.
See, that's the thing. I'm very difficult to upset. I'm just, if people make fun of me, I'm just like, okay, you made fun of me. If it's a good insult, or if it's well thought out or something like that, I'll laugh. And most of the time, I'm just like, you're just being a dick, and I don't let it bother me at all. But the thing that gets me most kind of worried and stuff is if I do get like a whole lot of people unsubscribing from me or unfollowing me on Twitter or whatever. That's when I'm like, shit, I've done something wrong, like, and I start reevaluating everything. But often that's just like you say, it's Twitter or YouTube just fucking with you.
Yeah, well, at your size, your YouTube and Twitter glitches are going to be larger than mine. I think I have a few hundred people I can see numbers of. I'm following 200 and something, and I'm being followed by almost 100. When I see the numbers on both of them go down the same amount, somebody got suspended.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
And you have to think about the fact that you're following and people are following you, and they may have said something and lost 12 hours, 24 hours, 3 days, 7 days, and your numbers are going to go up and down a small amount because YouTube and Twitter. That's just how shit goes. I notice on days that I get 2 or 3 subs, the third sub often falls off by the end of the day. So either somebody accidentally subbed, and didn't watch anything because I had no views, and then unsubbed, or YouTube said, oh, that person subbed really quick after this one, that must be a bot, we're taking it off.
Yeah.
And I see that a lot. More common than I'm thinking people are unsubscribe.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, yeah, again, I mean, I'm not a big channel by some standards. I'm surprised I've got as many followers and subs as I do. To be honest, but
I wake up awestruck when I get one more when I'm in, check my YouTube in the morning. What's going on? Okay, there's a message from Reaper. Oh, cool. I'll respond to that. Oh, look, I got a new subscriber. How did I get a sub? I didn't do anything for 2 days.
Yeah, I've noticed that the people kind of I don't get any subs if I leave the channel for too long. Like if anything more than 5 days without uploading or streaming or something like that, I'll start losing subs.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just coincidence or not, but yeah, that kind of affects me more than somebody call me a cunt or something like that. I really don't care, and that's why the blood sports thing doesn't really do anything to me. I just kind of think it's quite petty, really, and I get why it's entertaining and stuff, but it just doesn't really do anything for me. Yeah, and I think I would be absolutely terrible if I was on it, because people would be screaming at me or something. I'd be like, all right. I just wouldn't react really, because I'm kind of nonplussed about everything all the time.
One of you go to my Twitter and DM me and tell me what pics to use.
Wait, what?
You send me the pics, I'll do the captain no private parts. Malevolent Rider, I don't know what you're getting at here. I think I'm reading this wrong.
I have no idea what's going on there.
All right.
There's a dodgy deal going on in the chat.
All right, so let's stop for a quick moment. How do you like this show? How do you like this game? Ish.
I like the format, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to create something different. This was the game board was from a friend of mine who doesn't talk to me anymore. But I wrote it up like this, just trying to find a way This is after Bloodsports came out and before all these debates started happening. Well, all these big name debates started happening. I wanted to see people just start talking about the topics. Stop arguing facts. Stop bringing in piles of shit that you can toss back and forth. And just say, okay, well, I'm an American and this is how I see this topic. And you're from Scotland. Tell me how you see this topic. And we'll see that there are differences between the two of us and understand that everybody's going to have these differences and it's important to look at them.
Yeah, no, I do like this format. I think it would be quite good if like the different rounds and stuff. It'd be quite good if you could get like a few people on and have each person like address the topic and give them all like a minute or something to put their case forward and make sure they're for and against.
I have looked at different ways to run this, and there are a couple of different games on the internet. There's very few that are like what I'm doing here, so there's not a lot to look at for ideas. And since show 1, I've been making the show what makes it the most comfortable and enjoyable to run. If I've got to start partitioning a clock for everybody to get 1 minute, they're trying to get a huge argument out in 1 minute. This is open, so once you tell me what your perspective is, I can question your perspective. And then once I ask a question, it can go either I can ask another question, you can question me. We can go back and forth in any direction as long as we try to center around whatever that topic happens to be.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, and yeah, I agree with you. If you're wanting to actually hash out some arguments and stuff, then that's absolutely the way to go about it. Well, what I was thinking was that you could have like a kind of maybe a slightly less serious round at the end, just something just to kind of round it up, just a bit of fun, and you could, I don't know, it was just a stupid idea, really. Just thinking you could have like a silly round at the end and have a really silly question, like that whole
I honestly
soup or
thought
something
about
like that.
One of the thoughts that this game will not allow me to do. So this is something I was trying to do. Is how Jeopardy has the daily doubles?
No, we don't get Jeopardy over here. I've never seen it.
So Jeopardy is like 5 boards across and 5 boards tall, but looks like this. And it's, wars for 100 through 500, and then schools for 100 through 500. And there's 5 topics across the top, and 100 through 500 for the first round, and 200 to 1,000 for the second round. And in each round, there's 2 daily doubles. And so on the board behind one of the numbers, it's going to come up daily double and gives you twice the round amount. Well, very early I realized trying to do scores is just a dumb idea when you're trying to do something like this, and it adds hostility. And as much as I enjoy watching Bloodsports and enjoy the hostility and a good laugh and some enjoyment and entertainment, I am about wanting to be exposed to the new thoughts and perspectives and the way other people look at the things and how it differs and is similar to the way I look at things, so that I can educate myself in a way that I find appealing to me. So
yeah, I mean, I do not disagree with you at all.
Yeah, it's really hard to try and find a way to balance things out. So this is what did I say this was? Yesterday was 45, I think. So today's the 46th show, and most shows have been the same. There have been a few differences in how I do things. I've had to change topics because I get a little dry on them. I've had to change the timer a few times and thought about doing it again and realized that I've started at 10, went to 1, went to 2, went to 3, went to 5, and 5 has been the most comfortable. I've modified things and gone back and forth. So I honestly, I love taking in the input, and I look at it and try to apply it. So I will definitely start, I've been playing with the show. I'm always trying to keep it If it's the same every time you watch, you're not going to keep watching. So I try to keep changing things up little bits at a time.
Sure.
All right, we should have time for one more if you want.
Sure. Yes, let's look at LGBTQ plus alphabet.
Oh, Teddy will be proud. Causes of homosexuality are biological, established early in life, discovered rather than chosen, not a developmental flaw, in males associated with being later born.
Woo, lad.
Yeah, you entered the hot topics category and just got slapped in the face.
Yeah. Save the best to last, obviously.
I believe. Let me cycle through here. Okay, so there's a website. It's www.pflagatl.org/LGBTFAQ. So we'll put that back up there. Again, sometimes, and I have to cite my sources when I use them, you look for a conversation about them, and this is one that was looked at a few weeks ago, so I thought find a different way to look at it. Causes of homosexuality are biological and established early in life, discovered rather than chosen, not a developmental flaw, and in males associated with being later born. So all of these things are found to be true in studies. Men who are born after their due date are predominantly affected to be homosexual. There is biological established fact that you are born with an aptitude for homosexuality. It establishes itself early in your life. It is discovered, not chosen. So most people don't choose to be homosexual. They discover that it appeals to them more. It is not a developmental flaw, obviously, following along. I'm not going to argue that it is, even though it can be argued. So, with all of that, this is kind of a just open discussion about this because it's a hot topic. I don't know what there is.
Yeah, I don't really know what there is to discuss though, because as far as I was concerned, yeah, it was biological. I didn't know about it being associated with being born after the due date or anything like that. I didn't know that. So I guess I'll just have to take your word for that.
I didn't know either. To be honest, I learn a lot doing this show, and I enjoy that part of it. It's interesting to me. It really is that there's multiple factors they can attribute to the possibility of.
Yeah. I suppose if it's an innate thing though, why does God hate fags?
Does God hate fags, or does somebody proclaim thousands of years ago that a God believed that homosexuality was wrong?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was just joking.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I always say when people say, "Oh, it's unnatural to be gay," you just have to point to the fact that it appears in lots and lots of different species and stuff as well. So
yeah.
why would we be immune to it?
I laugh because Unwanted Reaper in the chat thought that the bot would flip out over purple because we had an incident with the color purple in my bot. It took over the chat and just started spamming, "Ladies and gentlemen, forget about the naked man with the purple face." Why, that's what it says. It's just what popped in my head when I was programming stupid shit. No, I haven't gotten to any of the colors, and I have not yet, I apologize, programmed a new kill the bot word.
I see.
So there's got to be entertainment for the crowd.
Of course, yeah.
the LGBTQ for a moment, though, it is, a lot of people have a different viewpoint on how and what being gay or bisexual is, and how somebody ends up being like that, and the background of it, and how it could be either avoided or detected, or however you want to look at it, depending on, you know, how old you are, who you grew up around, the area you live in. All of that is important on this. It's important to know that people are studying it, and that it's not one thing that just says, oh, by the way, this newborn's gonna be gay because he's 13 days late.
Yeah.
Just everybody realize that these are all contributing factors, not highly influential factors. So
yeah, I'm sorry your hot topic for discussion wasn't much of a discussion, because we just went, yep, agreed, yep.
No, that's, you know what? Shit happens. People look at things differently. I do not program the board for the guest. Period.
Of course. Yeah, no, yeah.
And I have no idea what you're gonna pick. You and I have never really spoken. I think I got a text message an hour or so before the show that said an hour, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That was it.
That's the extent of our conversation. These aren't planned or anything. It's supposed to be mildly random, unprepared, perspective, not analytical viewpoints. It's just supposed to be you coming in here as a person. How do you see things? How do you react to this? And start chatting. Don't think that because we both agree on a topic, that topic's not very good, or that you weren't good on that topic. That's just what the topic ended up being, because
and I know I was great on that topic, so
yeah. You know, I've done the Lindsay videos too. We all hate a little bit of queer kid stuff, and if you don't believe me, check out my channel. There is a queer kid stuff intro backwards. It's entertaining as hell. I had so much fun making that one. I even included it in a couple of videos after that. It was so entertaining.
See, that was the thing with queer kid stuff. I want to. I'm going to make this claim, but I think I was the first person to do a response to a queer kid stuff video, because I found it after episode 2 or 3, maybe, on the first season. And I was like, oh, okay. And I responded to the first 2 episodes in one go. And then it was only a week or 2 after that. You know, I was going around going, oh my God, look at this fucking queer kid stuff. It's fucking ridiculous. Oh my God. You know, not expecting that, you know, the likes of Blair White and Sean Head would eventually pick it up.
Yeah, well, look at how long it's continued. I don't know if Lindsay thinks most of her audience is fans, or doesn't realize that half of us are just watching, waiting to see what she comes out with next.
Yeah, I think probably the vast majority of her views are from people who disagree with her. Most of the time, the comments are not in favor of what she's doing, and even the ones that are in favor, I think, are probably just trolling anyway. But when it first came out and I started responding, I was like, right, I'm going to respond to every single episode. Little did I know it would still be going a year and a half later.
I think I've responded to 2, maybe 3. I could be wrong.
I have a playlist. I have a playlist. I can't remember how many videos it is. It's quite a lot, though.
I'm sorry, everybody can hear all of my mouse clicks through here. That is, I need another mouse, and I've
got 20 responses to queer kid stuff.
I'm telling you, if you want a really good laugh And feel free, I shouldn't have anything set up where you can't, but feel free if you see it and do enjoy it. There's an old intro to Queer Kid stuff. It plays through normal, but all the audio is flipped.
Right, okay.
And it just plays through, and by the time you get to the end, you stop it and you laugh for a second and you hit that replay button like, what the fuck did I just listen to? Like devil music, play it backwards.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up.
I got some fun stuff on my channel from when I did a lot of videos. I think about doing them from here to there, but as you well know, a good 10-minute video takes a good 10 hours.
Yeah, it's not a quick thing.
There's a curve. For the first 4 or 5 minutes, it's about 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, depending. And then as you get to like 10 minutes, you level out about 10 hours. Once you get to 20 minutes, you maybe take about 12 or 13 hours.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting quicker at responses, especially to Queer Kid stuff, because I'm usually just repeating myself, and so I just try and put stupid things into it to make it more entertaining for the viewers. But they're still my most viewed videos.
That would have to be, though, doing response videos to Lindsay and Riley have to be why I wanted to do something of my own. I started trying to create my own videos from my own product, creating all of the content as best I could throughout the video. I started, doing response videos completely different. I responded to some commercials, and then I just said, you know what, I need to do something that's totally different because I don't want to be bogged down in this copyright YouTube crap.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why I started doing the parody songs as well.
Yeah, I love them.
I would just go mad if I was only doing response videos.
Yeah.
I would just go crazy.
I was getting to a point where I was enjoying it. My work was funny. I was getting compliments, but then I lost my mom. I went to sit down and make a video, and nothing. Like, I would get 30 seconds of a video started, and nope. I don't have the drive to do this. I need to find something fun, or I'm not going back to YouTube. And I did a couple more videos, and then I started doing this. I even have a couple cooking videos up here now. I mean, I do what I enjoy doing for YouTube. I just try to do it in a way where, hey, I know there's a chat there. I have 3 bots in there, and they're gonna fuck with you if you fuck with them.
Yeah, I've never really got that. Never really got that far with the whole live streaming stuff. I've not really done that many streams, but I probably should kind of think about using OBS and stuff like that. I just can't be bothered to learn at the moment.
I tell you what, I'm more than willing to help friends. Some people have a harder time learning than others, and I try my best to work with people, but I offer a lot of people help here and there, and once in a while I do little streams where I'll help and answer questions and give tidbits about how I do things, because again, I do things differently. I try to look at the world different than other people, so I run things differently than other people do.
Yeah, no, that sounds cool, man.
So with that, we have definitely been going for over an hour. I'm so glad you got a chance to join me on the show. I look forward to
thanks for having me, man.
Maybe having you again in the future.
Sure, yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's a nice little easygoing thing to do, right?
Yeah, and it's more interesting than, it's just like, oh, let's just invite somebody on a stream and we'll just talk shit for an hour or 2 hours or something like that. Because a lot of the streams I get invited to, there's no structure to them, so I quite like a bit of structure.
I try to keep just enough structure to keep it interesting, because who doesn't get bored with certain things after just a few minutes? You might watch an entire hour stream and only 6 minutes of that was entertaining.
Yeah. That's the thing that I don't get is whenever I stream, I've usually got a core audience of about 20 people that will just watch from start to finish, and I'm like, why are you watching this shit? I'm just talking nonsense.
I'm usually one of those, and I will turn my phone on or something and work on something and just pop in the chat here and there. Usually, when you see my skull and the skull in between the double ellipsis, the period, skull, period, that means I've popped into your room and I'm just sitting there. So if I don't say anything, I'm probably just sitting there listening.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I've seen you do that.
You know why I do that? You're the reason I do that.
Is this because of the fucking moo?
That's because of the fucking moo. So for a while, I was walking into chat rooms with WAN apostrophe a bone.
Right.
Want a bone, but wanna bone. And that didn't catch on. I wasn't comfortable with it. I did the skulls for like 3 days, and then people started going, "Hey, NumbedSkull." I was like, "Oh, that's mine. I love this one. It works. I'm doing this from now on."
Yeah, I kind of
regret. You're the reason I do that.
All right, okay. Yeah, can I do that? It doesn't matter what the chat's about. I'll just jump in and go, fucking moo. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, people just expect it of me now, and a lot of the time I'll just jump into a stream, put that into the chat, wait until the people who are streaming notice it, say fucking moo, and then I'll leave again. So I don't even stay and listen sometimes.
Oh, Tailed Feature's here. Nope, he's gone.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Someone in the stream will go, "Oh, it's Tailed fucking moo," and then I'll just go, "Okay, my job is done. I'll leave again."
You had your fun. No, mine's just saying I'm there because it looks like a skull sitting on the ground. Honestly.
Yeah, I've seen you do that. So now I know what that specifically means.
Yeah, it just means I'm sitting there.
Is it all right if I shell my channel on your chat?
Absolutely, shell your channel. I believe I got the channel link already posted in the description as well.
Yeah, I think everyone that's in the chat's probably. I know at least. Yeah, I know at least a couple of them are, but.
Thank you though for joining me. We're gonna.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, we're gonna get ready to roll that outro and move on with our days. If anybody would like to see me again today, I am going to be on a stream starting at 7 o'clock called The Proper Villains with Antoine and Zell and I'm drawing a blank right now. Lo-Fi and I'm forgetting one.
Somebody else.
Yeah. They're going to get mad at me later. Who am I forgetting? Somebody help me in the chat. Reaper, help. There's
Ruckus.
4 of them. Ruckus, that's the one.
So somebody just said that in the chat.
Thank you. So I'm on the show with them tonight at 7 Eastern time. And then tomorrow morning I have another show at 9 in the morning.
Busy.
I've been streaming most of the day. I'm enjoying it. I need to walk away for a little bit, go rest my eyes, maybe take a nap or something. I don't know. I don't nap well.
Yeah.
But thank you, everybody, for joining me. We're going to move on to that closing window and give you guys some music on the way out.